What's happening, YouTubers? It's your boy CB, and we are back for my favorite segment on the channel, Huddle Watch Alongs with Recruits. On today's episode, I have elite 2027 four-star linebacker Kaden Henderson, who is one of the best players in his class, regardless of position. Coming from Jesuit down there in Tampa, Florida, he's one of those linebackers that can do everything you want from a stud linebacker. Thumper in the middle. He's got the sideline speed, the instincts, the versatility to be strong in coverage. And when he hits you, it's like watching a Mack truck hit somebody. But you don't want to hear it from me. You want to hear it from the superstar himself, fresh off of a visit and a list.
What's going on?
2027 four-star linebacker. Kaden, bro, let's get right into it, bro. You've got one of the most busy off seasons a recruit can ask. Yeah. So before I ask about today's visit, I want to ask, how do you balance that, Kaden? How do you balance school, workouts? This is camp season, 7-on-7 season with visits. How is it balancing all that?
Really just keeping my priorities straight. I mean, I know right now 7-on-7 is not really one of my big worries right now. I mean, I have the looks, I have the offers right now. Going to this next season is really just getting bigger and faster. That's really what I need. Just, going to the schools that that's probably on the top of my list right now. Just trying to just keep that contact, heavy contact, so I can just get closer with the schools right now, pretty much. Yeah.
Let's dive right into one of those schools. So today, we're actually recording this on Saturday. Today, maybe 30 minutes ago, was that Florida's campus down there checking out the Gators, one of the most electric atmospheres when it comes to college football in the SEC and the Swamp. It is a legendary stadium. What was that visit like, and what's that relationship like with Billy Napier and the Gators?
I mean, really, I went earlier this year. Last year, I went to the Texas A&M versus Florida game. I mean, they lost, but I mean, it was just the overall atmosphere at the game. And it was like, I think it was a 4 p.m. game, but still, when it was against that third, fourth quarter, it was that night atmosphere. It was crazy. One of the craziest stadiums I've been to for sure. But really this was my first time really being on campus, getting tour for facilities, meeting with most of the coaches so I can actually have some time to really, dive into conversations about defense, how they see me. I mean, things like that, really meeting Coach Napier for sure. And yeah, it was definitely, eye-opening for sure. Definitely one of the schools I like.
You hear that he's a player's coach a lot, even, past Florida commits or Florida or guys are being recruited by Florida that I've had on the show. One of the first things they always say is how cool of a guy he is. Did you get that impression of him too?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we were talking about everything. We weren't even talking about football. He was just talking about Jesuit. He was talking about the school I went to, just, the man I am. So he really wasn't even talking about football. So we were just diving into all type of conversations. So yeah, he was dope for sure.
I love when a recruit can relate, or when a coach can relate to a recruit like that, when it doesn't just have to be football, when he can talk to you about life, when he can talk to you about anything. I feel like that's important to be able to relate to players. When we talk about relatability in a school that when you get an offer from as a linebacker, I don't care what year you get this offer. When you get a Penn State offer as a linebacker, that stamps you. That's linebacker you going back to when my dad was a kid, Kaden. This is that they produce some of the greatest middle linebackers and linebackers of all time. What was it like when you got that offer from the Nittany Lions?
I can't talk too much about it, right now because it's early in my process. But I mean, when I did get the offer, it was insane. I mean, just knowing the amount of talent that came out of Penn State. I mean, so the DC at the time was Coach Allen, but he's now at Clemson. I mean, but so it's a little coaching change right now. But for sure, that's still one of the biggest opportunities I had so far. Just the past, just the past they had with linebackers, developing them. So it was definitely one of the cool experiences I had getting an offer like that.
And then when we talk about the state of Florida, growing up as a recruit, there's the infinity gauntlet of Florida schools that you want, right?
Yeah.
You basically done got the gauntlet cleaned up. So let's go down a couple more of them. Let's go down to FSU. Again, growing up a young man in Florida, these have to be offers that you dream about when you're a kid, that you dream about when you get your first pair of cleats. What was it like getting that offer from the Seminoles?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. FSU was literally my dream school growing up. Like you can see baby pictures of me wearing FSU gear. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere. I mean, so that was my first ever offer too. So it was insane. It was
really.
Insane. It was an insane process for me. So that was like the first opportunity I ever had. So it was like eye-opening for sure, just knowing how quick that, what I'm saying? It was my freshman year too. So how quick that process happened for me. So I'm just blessed, get that opportunity just in general and just how early I got it.
What was that day like for you, the family, and the squad around you? Because I know your boys know, man, Kaden really want that Seminole. I know he want
Yeah.
everybody, but he want that Seminole.
Everybody knew that. I mean, for sure. I
Oh,
mean,
like
when I texted my parents, I'm like, oh my God. Like I called my mom immediately. Like I got pulled out of class. I called my mom immediately, like, oh my God, mom, I just got the offer. At first she didn't pick up. I had to like spam her phone. She was on a conference call. She's like, what's going on? What's going on? I'm like, yeah, I just got the offer. They're like, oh my God. She was like, she didn't believe it. So I called my dad too, you know what I'm saying? So it was insane for sure.
I love those moments because you never forget that. You never forget the first
For
jersey you
sure. You
had.
never
You
did.
never forget watching
Yeah.
TV and being like, man, I would look cold in that one. Like I would look really nice in that one. So you never
Yeah.
forget that. So I love in that moment.
Yeah.
Your first thought was
For
too, hey, I
sure.
gotta celebrate this with the fam because they know they've been
Yeah.
hearing me talk
Yeah.
about this for years. So I know they were
Years.
as excited. Then
Years. For sure.
let's round out the big three with the Miami Hurricanes. Recent offer that just came through, a
Mhm.
school that just coming off of a 10-win season. Coach Cristobal, when it comes
Mhm.
to recruiting, that's his bread and butter. What was it like getting that offer from a staff that you know prides themselves in high school recruiting?
So to be honest, right, I was like wondering where was Miami. I'm like, dang, I really need Miami. Like I got all the Florida schools. Like I need Miami. Like I wasn't like rushing it, but I'm like, yeah, they gonna come. Like it's gonna be there eventually, right? I was talking to my high school coach, but I'm like, dang, like you heard anything about Miami yet? Like actually, that was a school I didn't want to pick up. You know what I'm saying? Just
Because
to
it is
where it's at.
weird.
You
It
know?
is weird to
Yeah, it
get
is.
all the other ones. And it's like,
Yeah,
hold on, where
besides
y'all
that
at?
one school, I'm like, dang, they don't think I'm like that or something. I'm like, dang. So then, yeah, I talked to my coach like literally, I would say a couple of days before they even came to the school. I'm like, you heard anything? He's like, nah, man. Like, I'll tell you when they, you know what I'm saying, when they pull up. They pulled up to the school. I was talking to the receiver coach for a little bit. We were just chopping it up, and then that's when they offered me. So it was definitely a cool experience. You know what I mean? So yeah, I liked it a lot. It was nice.
If we could time travel and I could talk to eighth grade Cajun, I could ask you, hey, what would you think if I told you in a couple years you're gonna have Miami coming to your school? You're gonna be flown out to see Oklahoma play Bama, Georgia play Tennessee. You're gonna have a Bama offer, OU offer, a Tennessee offer. What do you think eighth grade you would have said to that?
I'm just gonna say like all that hard work paid off, you know what I'm saying? Them late nights, you know what I'm saying, getting them extra push-ups and them sit-ups, you know what I'm saying? It really does pay off, you know what I mean? I probably wouldn't even imagine myself doing this really, because you know what I'm saying, when you're in eighth grade, you're just looking at everybody in front of you, you know what I'm saying, all them Alabama, I was like, dang, like that's crazy, you know what I mean? But now, you know what I'm saying, a couple years later, shift, you know, like I'm in them shoes. Like, you know, I got little kids, you know what I'm saying, looking up to me. So I'm just a blessing to have these shoes, you know what I'm saying, to fill these shoes that, you know what I'm saying, that I did look up to at a certain time.
And then when you talk about how impressive the offer sheet is, if we just
Mhm.
stay in Florida, it's impressive. But then you start talking about the SEC schools, the
Yes,
Bama,
sir.
the Tennessee, the A&M that just came in.
Yeah.
Let's start with Bama because when we talk about Bama, we think defense. I know in recent years we think Bryce Young, but when we close our eyes and think Bama, we
Yeah,
think
that's for sure.
elite defense. As a guy
Absolutely.
that prides himself on being an elite linebacker, a complete linebacker, what was the feeling like when you got an offer from Bama that you know when they offer defensive linemen, that's that stamp that you know, oh, this dude like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so I went to a Bama camp. I'm saying going to my sophomore year, I went to a Bama camp. It was I ain't gonna lie, it was one of the craziest camps I've been to. I'm talking about only camp that had a full helmet on. We over there running full speed. We doing everything. So I'm talking about like it was crazy. It was a crazy camp. I mean, from that camp, I was definitely sore. I was like doing a little bus tour. So like after that camp, for like I would say like a solid 2 camps, I had to sit out. You know what I'm saying? I pulled something. I was just too sore. But then fast forward to like this year, I went to the Bama versus Missouri game. And that's when I picked up the offer. I was just talking to Coach Womack. You know what I'm saying? We're just chopping it up, just seeing my progression going to my freshman and sophomore year. He liked it a lot. Just seeing the player I can be and how he can see me, you know what I'm saying? Just grow up in his offense and things like that. I mean, my bad, his defense, things like that.
What was that atmosphere like getting to see Bama in person?
Bro, it was crazy. That was my first ever time seeing Bama. Like, I'm just like imagining all the times I'm seeing Bama on TV, all these natties they win. I'm like, dang, I'm really seeing this in person. I mean, even though they didn't have the best season since they just lost Saban, it was still just eye opening. Just because Bama's always going to be Bama, regardless of who's coaching there.
Yes,
So
sir.
I mean, it was definitely just it was definitely a great experience I had.
Then we're gonna stay in the SEC with a school you got to see that day when you went to see Bama. The reason I want to bring up Missouri is twofold. One, again, when you get SEC offers as a defender, there's that stamp. There's that, oh, even schools that haven't offered you yet start to look at you like, okay, let's turn this tape on. Because if he's starting to get these offers, it lets other coaches know, oh, he's like that. And then Missouri just signed Coach D. Nick, who was a former linebacker coach at Miami. I know he offered you at Miami. How excited are you to get to Mizzou to reconnect with Coach D. Nick, someone who's been believing in you all the way back from when he was at Miami as well?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I haven't even met D-Nick before. Like, that's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? I just followed him on Twitter, but I can tell he definitely messes with me a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because as soon as I got the offer, he was the first one to, you know what I'm saying, follow me on
Boom.
Twitter. Boom. It was immediately like I posted it, a second later, follow. So I'm like, okay. So it's definitely nice. I mean, I know Missouri didn't have the best season, but I know when D-Nick steps in, he's gonna change the little culture up a little bit. So it's definitely gonna be nice to see what he does in Missouri. So for sure. It's gonna be nice.
You know the very first thing he gonna do is, hey, do we have an offer for Kaden? Do we? Okay, we do. Cool. You know he's gonna check. You know that's one of his first things he's gonna do. And for those of y'all wondering, all right, the offer sheet crazy. So for those of y'all that haven't seen the film, 92 tackles. And a guy that can do a little bit of everything. If I asked you, what's your preference? If I say game on the line, bro, it's either a sack, stuffing a running back on fourth down, or picking off a pass. What would be Caden's prerogative? What would be more fun for you?
I love that ball in my hand, so I gotta say getting a pick. You know what I'm saying? That game winning pick. That would be crazy. That's probably the best thing. You know what I'm saying? A sack nice, but you know what I'm saying? You always get sacks. You know what I'm saying? But that interception you get, that's a game changer play. You know what I'm saying? You get that ball back in the offensive hand. So that's definitely the plays I would say I would pick.
When your star guys play special teams, that's special. And for you to put it on your huddle lets me know you take pride in that. You
For
take
sure.
pride in being a guy that doesn't come off the field. Have you always been like that? Just not
I
coming
mean,
off the field?
for sure. I mean, starting even in little league. I mean, I just always was always the offensive, defensive, every single guy. One time I was punting the ball at a point. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing everything to help the team win. So I mean, just doing everything I can. So whenever coaches need me, you know what I'm saying? Oh, go on special teams, go on this. I got you, coach. You know what I'm saying? I'm just doing whatever can make the team better and things like that.
Bro, like physicality for no reason. You took on this block just because you wanted to.
Of course.
Just
He was
because
just
you
standing
wanted
there.
to.
How to get him out the way, for sure.
He was like, hey, are you in this play or not? That's what that was. That was, are you in it? Oh, you're not. Okay, cool. So when we do watch your film, Kaden, we see, again, I was about to say the versatility. We see you do so many different things and have the skills and the ball skills to be out in coverage. Who are some of the linebackers you like to study? Who are some of the guys that you are influenced by? Because when we look at your tape, we see a little bit of everything. We see a thumper. We see a dude that is going to fill a gap, stuff a running back. But then you out here at like a nickel, dropping back in coverage, showing the ball skills, hot pointing the football, and then cribbing it. So who are some of the guys you like to study to take from, to mold from, to learn?
I mean, really, it's all type of guys. I mean, NFL guys would probably be the Levante David, Fred Warner. Those two guys just come off my head immediately. But I mean, college is still Harold Perkins. I mean, I like watching Barrett Carter from Clemson. Just guys like that, the versatility from those guys. Just all they can do it all. They can cover. They can come down. Just things like that. Just taking little tips from them. You know what I'm saying? Just things like that for sure. Those are definitely linebackers I look up to.
It almost feels like the second they lined up in this formation, you knew what was going to happen.
For
Like,
sure. I mean,
look at his hand. He's like, oh, yeah, no, I knew. That's film study, bro. When did that become a huge part of your game?
I'm gonna be honest. So freshman year, I didn't really watch any film. It was just raw talent. Just I'm going out there. I'm just gonna hope something happens. I'm just gonna try to make as many plays as I can. But I mean, I was just looking at my freshman year. I'm like, yeah, I could play way better than this. Like, I just know the player I was. I know I can play 10 times better. So that's when I started, just taking my game to the next level, studying film, being a film junkie. You know what I mean? Just always watching film. Trying to pick up on the little things. You know what I'm saying? The little things take you a big way. Afar. Just really far. So just taking my game from, what I'm saying, just a freshman to sophomore year, I think that's definitely a thing I picked up on a lot. Just trying to find those little things and what players do, their habits and things like that. Just, picking up on plays they run on certain down and distances and things like that.
You feel like the game started slowing down for you more once you became that film junkie?
To be honest, I think when the game started slowing down for me was really after like a couple, like I would say like a one game after, because I played my first game It was against Jones in like a kickoff classic. That was like one of the craziest games I played. I mean, they I ain't gonna lie, they tore us up. But
That's
after
an
that game,
offense, boy.
yeah, that was a crazy offense because that's when they had Trevor Jackson and Darren Coleman. So they had two four-star
Had two of them.
quarterbacks. They had two of them, and they had Vernell Brown. They had or they had all those guys already on the team. So I mean, that was definitely like after that game. I mean, the game starts slowing down for me. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's just football. You know what I mean? So it's just really just down. It comes down to the basics. You know what I mean? But yeah, I say after my first game, it really starts slowing down. Just but I say it started like slowing down. Yeah, after my freshman year, because I just start picking up. I got faster, I got bigger, and I start hitting guys. I got stronger, so it definitely starts slowing down for me even more my sophomore year.
And then being thrown out there in the fire as a freshman, that's not easy. The game is insanely faster when you get to varsity. Do you remember the moment that you had when in your head you realized, oh, I belong out here? Like I just don't have the experience yet, but I can
Mhm.
play out here. That in the NFL, we call it the welcome to the NFL moment. But do you remember your welcome to varsity moment where you realized, oh, I belong on this field with all these 4 stars, these 5 stars, these 3 stars?
It was definitely that Jones game too. I remember it was my first ever high school game, right? And it was at Camping World Stadium too, one of the biggest stadiums you can play in. So I was
For
really in the
sure.
spotlight. In the spotlight, I remember it was like, I think it was second and 8 or something like that, and it was in the goal line in the red zone. Um, they basically had like I think it was an inside zone, and the running back ran. I just smashed the running back in the hole. You can pull it up. It was on YouTube video. That was like I'm like, dang, I can do this. Like I'm like I was standing skinny 195. I'm like, dang, I'm already doing this. I'm like, okay, bet. From that on, I'm like, I can do this. Like I know who I am at the end of the day. You know what I mean? No one can really mess with me at this. You know what I'm saying? So
Have you always just loved the physicality side of football? Because you have the skills to the speed and everything. I'm thinking, all right, how come nobody didn't put him at safety? But I know why. It's because you like hitting, you like taking on a block. You like look at it, look at the smile as we're talking about it. Your face starts to light up.
yeah.
Even in Little League, were
Sure.
you like that? Did the physicality of the game, is that why you fell in love with it?
Yeah, for sure. I'm always looking for contact. Like I'm not one of those guys that shy away from contact. Like if you like whenever we you know what I'm saying, that first kickoff goes, it's game on. Like I'm already in that mentality. Like it's you know what I'm saying, all the 4 quarters is you know what I'm saying, every single second of me, I'm giving all I got. So just just not running from guys, just I'm just really trying to show guys who I am at the end of the day. Like this is not something to play with. Like I'm really, you know what I'm saying, I'm like that for sure.
When we talk about being like that, we talk about a couple schools that confirm you like that. We talked about a few up top, but there's a
Hmm.
couple I want to go back to because you got to see Georgia and Tennessee in person. As a
That was
guy
great
that
to get.
that that loves the physicality of the game, watching that Georgia defense had to be fun. What was that experience like getting to see that game in person?
I mean, they have two dog linebackers that are really young right now. They have Raylan Wilson. I think it's CJ. I forgot his last name. But they have two dogs. Yeah, CJ Allen, I'm pretty sure. They have two dogs that sophomore. They're sophomores right now. I mean, just like, just seeing how they play, how they're able to take on blocks, things like that. I'm just like thinking about them, you know what I'm saying? Thinking about how I can implement it in my own game, picking up on tips and things like that. So, but that was definitely one of the craziest games I've been to for sure. I mean, after the game, I went to the locker room, seeing Quavo in there. I mean, it was crazy. One of the That's insane for sure.
That's one of them atmospheres I would imagine comes off just the way it does on TV. It's got to be
Mhm.
just as electric as it feels on TV.
For sure, it definitely is.
And then, Caden, when I talk about being a complete linebacker, I mean in all 3 phases. I mean being a complete 3 down guy.
Hmm.
You have that in spades, but that's something that a lot of guys don't always focus on. They don't always focus on being complete. Sometimes if you're a speed guy, that's just who you are. But it seems like you take pride in being a guy that if it's 3rd and short, I'm your guy. If it's 3rd and long, put me on the tight end. Put me on a running back coming out the backfield. Let me rush off the edge. How much pride do you take in being that complete linebacker that can do a little bit of everything for your defense?
So I just know what I'm capable of doing at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? I know the guy I am, the player I am. You know what I'm saying? So I just know if coach needs me, I'm always going to be there. First down, second down, third down, fourth down. I'm always going to be there. I'm always going to make that play. So that's really it.
You think that makes it hard for defenses to key on you when they do watch your defense? The way your defensive coordinator will say, all right, well, if y'all think he here, I'm gonna put him on the edge now. And now he
Yeah.
coming off the edge. You feel like the way your defensive coordinator moves you around makes it hard for offenses to key on you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm really everywhere. I mean, some days I'm on the left side, right side. Some days I'm back at safety.
Coming off the
So
edge.
teams, yeah, I'm off the edge sometimes. So teams really can't game plan around me. I mean, some teams try, but at the same time, like that means you're giving somebody else, you know what I'm saying, a better. If you're only trying to stick on me, that means you're opening the game for somebody else at the end of the day. So at the end of the day, we're still going to be winning, you know. So I mean, it's really hard to game plan because like I'm really around everywhere. So like I'm a left, right side. Sometimes I'm in the box, so it's hard.
How much of that is you asking to be everywhere, or your defensive coordinator just enjoying the versatility?
To be honest,
do you also sometimes ask like, "Hey, can I come off the edge right now?"
nah, I ain't gonna lie. So I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I do. I'm like, yeah, hey, coach. I see like they've been running this play all day. Like, let me just come off the edge this one play. I promise I ain't gonna like disappoint you. And he's like, okay, I'll let you slide on this. You know what I'm saying? Just you know what I'm saying. So we have that trust. You know what I'm saying? Where he trusts me, where he can let me do what I want. You know what I'm saying? I have a little bit of leeway, so he knows what I'm capable of doing. You know what I'm saying? And when I say something, he's like, okay, he's listening a little bit. So yeah.
How that bond is built through time and through him seeing the work ethic that you put at practice. When we see this defense and everybody running to the football, that's somebody being yelled at from Monday through Thursday.
For
Talk about
sure.
the work that gets put in at practice that we don't see.
I mean, for sure, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday practice. I mean, they're gritty practices. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say Thursday we let off a little bit. You know, got one little walkthroughs, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday we hitting. You know what I'm saying? Every single day. Yeah, ain't no letting up. We just giving all we can got. So when that Friday does come, we're already ready. We're already prepared. You know what I'm saying? We've seen all the plays before. We game plan. We're ready.
So I'm gonna put you on a spot here, and I know how a lot of y'all Florida boys are. When you balling, Kaden, when it's 10 tackles, an interception, a forced fumble, 3 tackles for loss. How's Kaden Henderson on the field? Are you quiet or are you giving it to the offense?
I'm gonna be honest, like I'm a quiet guy. I may be talking a little bit. I'm like, yeah. I'll hit like a yeah, like it's like that. You know what I'm saying? But like, I'm not gonna keep talking. You know what I'm saying? But if someone starts talking to me, you know what I'm saying? Maybe they got me in a little play. I'm holding. That's in my head the entire game. Like I'm not letting that go. You know what I'm saying? So once you say something one time, you better keep it like that the whole game. You know what I mean? So I don't be talking that much though. I be keeping it to myself.
Did you find that more people try to get under your skin, or more people try to talk to you more after you became the 4-star linebacker, Kaden Henderson?
I mean, I really wouldn't say so. I feel like people just, they were like, dang, is he really like that? They were just letting my game. I was literally just letting my game do the speaking. You know what I'm saying? I really wasn't a guy that just, you know what I'm saying, oh, blah, 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 I got all these offers. You know what I'm saying? I just let my game really do all the speaking. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to seem like I had a big head. I just wanted to go out there and show them what I'm capable of doing every single game.
Where does that mature mindset come from, Kaden? Because not just the way you attack being on the field or the accolades coming from rivals, coming from 24/7, the offers, it's very mature. Like I said, I didn't say it as a joke, y'all, in the chat. He legit had a Florida visit today, came home, lifted, and then finished lifting, and then he's on this. It's very mature the way you handle recruiting, the way you handle the outside noise. Where does that come from?
Really, just my dad, just giving me all the advice that he gives me. So, I mean, he's my biggest advocate. You know what I'm saying? He wants the best for me. So, just listening to him, just taking all what he has, just like soaking it all in, like I'm a sponge. You know what I mean? So, it's things like that. Just giving me all the little tips and tricks, so I can pick up on things. You know what I'm saying? So, I know it's like recruitment it's a business, but at the same time, I know it can go away at any point. You know what I'm saying? I get hurt. You know what I'm saying? So, I just always got to stay on my toes. You know what I mean? Always try to get better every single day.
And one of the cool things about the buzz that you do get, the coaches coming to the school, the coaches coming to practice, is players around your team now are going to get eyes on them that maybe eyes weren't on them before. Maybe Georgia wouldn't
For
have
sure.
noticed them. Maybe, you know what I'm
For
saying?
sure.
Maybe Tennessee wouldn't have noticed them. How much pride do you take in that? The
I
fact
mean,
that your play on the field may get your boy at outside linebacker an offer, at defensive tackle an offer. How much pride do you take in that?
so basically, a lot of pride because I mean that's the same way how it felt for me because I know Will Griffin, a 4-star quarterback we had. I mean that's why all the schools were really down for them, but they just happened to see me at the same time. So that's when I really started picking up on those offers. So just knowing that what Will did and it can happen to me, I'm just having that same type of effect. So I'm making sure I'm doing what I can do. So the other kids, still get that exposure and things like that.
I love that. We don't always realize that as our star shines, it
The brighter
illuminates other
sides,
people around us as well. We, you
for
don't you don't
sure.
necessarily realize that, but Oregon done pulled up to watch Kaden, and now they going, who is this safety? Like,
Yeah.
yes, we still offering Kaden, but also who's this safety? And
Mm.
I have to mention Oregon because a lot of times it feels like recruiting just can be local. But when you got somebody as far west as Oregon shooting the offer, that tells me not just a special player, but they've done their work because they just can't jump in a car and go to Jesuit and go see you.
Uh,
What was it like getting that offer from a school that you know had to turn on the tape and watch you?
I mean, definitely. I mean, early when I got my Florida State offer, that's really when the coaches started following my Twitter. I mean, I came from like I had like 112 followers on Twitter. I jumped up to like 600 in like 2 days. So just seeing my Twitter explode, I'm like, geez. I'm like, I seen every single coach in the nation follow me. I'm talking about recruiters, player personnel assistants, things like that, head coaches. So I'm like, dang, this is how it is. And then I went to that's when I told you I went to a bus tour. Then I started going to mega camps, and that's when I picked up Oregon. That's when I started talking to coaches. And that's really when it started like really getting to that next level of my recruitment.
That had to be crazy overnight for the phone to just like that. It's my phone.
Yeah, my
Like
phone
that's
was blowing up crazy.
what is that like for a recruit? Because I don't think we realize that overnight it literally goes boom, and then all of a sudden your DMs are full, your texts are full, your parents are getting calls, your coaches are getting calls. What is that like for a recruit to see that shift going from on the bubble to everyone in the country now wants to talk to you?
I mean, definitely, it's a blessing, you know what I mean. But I mean, a lot of players. I'm just gonna say, like, if it happens to any of y'all guys who are watching, don't take it for granted. You know what I'm saying? Because this didn't always go away in an instant. But at the same time, you don't always want to have these coaches blowing you up. Because at the same time, you got a regular life, you got a life to live. But you know what I'm saying? All them
There you
coaches.
go.
It's definitely like time consuming a lot. So just every single weekend, your weekends are gone. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to college every weekend, but at the same time, this is what I work for. This is what I want to be. This is what I want to do. So I mean, it's like a commitment. So I'm ready for it. That's really it.
I was gonna ask you about that for the young guys out there. And when I say young guys, you're still a young guy yourself.
Yeah.
But even so, I know you've already gotten it. I know you've got. Let me get your gloves. Let me get your
Mhm.
back flap. Let me get your towel. For those young guys that are watching Kaden Henderson and going, man, I want to be the next one. What would be your advice to them?
I mean, really, just keep your head down. You know what I mean? Because I mean, for me personally, going to my freshman year in high school, I think what a lot of eighth graders going to freshman year should do is really just go to a program. You know what I mean? Don't just go to a high school just to be that one guy. You know what I mean? Go to a program that has that history. The college coaches, they're coming through those doors every single day. That they know they can find athletes. You know what I mean? So just because you're not getting your freshman year, maybe you're not sophomore year, just buy in and really just lock in and just keep your head down and grind.
I love that advice, especially nowadays where sometimes young men tend to be a bit jumpy at
Yeah.
where they play. I love the idea of compete, stay and compete, hunker
Mhm.
down and compete because
For sure.
when you do start getting the offers, when you do start getting the phone calls, it'll feel that much sweeter. It'll feel earned.
It will.
Like you said
It's for
earlier,
sure.
when you first started coming in, you felt proud because you felt like, man, I earned like all this work is finally starting to pay off. You felt like you
Mhm.
earned it. It
For
wasn't a
sure.
situation where you felt like why am I not getting this? You didn't feel entitled. You felt
Mhm.
proud.
For
I
sure.
love that the way you look at it is for advice to a young player is earn it because it'll
Mhm.
feel better. It'll feel way better after you to come home and lift it and then someone
Yeah.
calls. It feels now I would imagine that feels better. My favorite question to
Absolutely.
ask recruits, Kaden, before we get out of here is what's that why? Because I know there's days you're gonna wake up sore, tired. You didn't have a test, so you had to study for it. So you up way too late. You got to go to school. You got to lift after this that Saturday. You got to go to Tennessee for a visit. And sometimes your body is just going to be too tired to get up in the morning. What's that why that keeps Kaden Henderson moving on the days when his body tells him it can't?
Really just, what I'm saying, my grandmother passed, I would say like a couple years, like about 3 or 4 years ago, and she really never got to see me play football. So I just know that I have to wake up and make her proud. Don't see it if she was right next to me every single day. So just waking up, what I'm saying, just remembering who I'm doing this for, what I'm saying, who never got to see me play. Her favorite team was the Cowboys, so that's definitely one of my dreams to play for the
Hey,
Cowboys. You know what I'm saying? Definitely one of my dreams, but just waking up every single day and just knowing who I'm doing it for and why I'm doing it. It's not just for me; it's for my family and the legacy I want to leave behind.
listen, I know I can speak for her when I say she's proud of you, not just of the player
I
you are
appreciate
on the
that.
field, but the elite young man you are, not just on the field, not just off the field, but in the classroom as well. You handle your business in all three phases.
Yes, sir.
I
Thank you.
know she looking down every time you get an offer up there smiling. And you know
I
how our
appreciate
grandmas are. She up there in her church finest with the
that.
big hat and everything. And you know
Everything, of
she's proud of you, bro. You know she is.
course.
Every time one of them offers come through, backflips is happening up there, dog. I
I
know she
appreciate
is.
that.
Dallas Cowboy fan close to my heart. We Cowboys fans where I'm at.
Yeah.
So close to my heart. Do you have a goal for next year? I know the team goals always state. Now I know somebody like you is always team first. So I'm gonna ask you what's the goal for the squad and what's the goal for Kaden next year?
Definitely, the goal for the team is definitely to win states. I mean, for sure, it got to be, but I mean, really just try to yeah, just to win states. I mean, that's for a team goal, just to, because last year we went 7-4, I'm pretty sure. So we just trying to bounce back. We had a lot of young guys, you know what I'm saying, getting new roles. So just them guys growing up in their roles, growing up in the defense, and then just gonna get into that next level. But a personal goal for mine is really just getting that next level. Because I mean, I was a captain my sophomore year, which is really unheard of. You know what I'm
I
saying?
love
So
that.
just getting to that next level might being a captain, you know what I'm saying, being more of a vocal leader, you know what I'm saying, things like that. But also, I still want to be that 5-star guy. I mean, I know it's accolades, but at the end of the day, you always dream of being a 5-star. So I definitely
Yes,
want to get to
sir.
that 5 stars for sure, and that's definitely one of my goals.
So a lot of times when you see those stars, people think, oh, they don't mean nothing. It's what we talked about earlier, though. It's working hard for something and achieving a goal. That fifth star, that 4-star, when you got that 4-star, it's all that work. Someone telling you it ain't for nothing, because sometimes it does suck. You running 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and in the back of your mind there is always that voice before you
Mhm.
get up that's like, is this worth it? I understand the argument from some people where it doesn't mean anything, but it is validation.
It
That's
is.
why I like it. It's the validation. It's someone watching the work you're putting in, watching you at these camps, watching you not count names in line so you don't go against elite people, watching you be first in drills, watching you be elite when you talk to a coach. So I love when players do take pride in those kind of things, because it's the
Absolutely.
validation. You know what I'm saying? So get that fifth. I like that you said, "Now I want that fifth because I'm
Yeah.
finna earn it. Not asking
Yeah.
nobody to hand it to me, but I'm finna earn
Mhm.
that thing."
For
So
sure.
I like that. I love that, Kaden. I do.
Mm. I mean, 'cause I could talk about that for forever. I mean, I'm gonna say, yeah. I don't want anything to be given out to me. I like working for everything I ever have. So, I mean, I'm just blessed to where I'm living at right now. What my parents gave me, but at the same time, I know, my goals. I have to work for all of the things I have. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, but for the 4 stars, I mean, I remember it was like I was in class, like in lunch period, and the rankings just came out. So I'm like, oh my god, I'm swiping up on 24/7. I'm like, what am I ranked? And I'm like scrolling down. I'm like, dang, they got me at 78. Got to work out. Got to get a little harder. You know what I'm saying? I got to work out a little harder. I got to get better. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I was blessed to get them 4 stars, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't think 78 guys are better than me. You know what I'm saying? So I have to,
I love
just
that.
keep that work and just keep getting better.
I love that. Most people would have saw that day as a sophomore, getting that 4 stars and been like, "Hallelujah, I made it." Kaden looked at that and said, "That's it? Okay, okay, bet.
Just,
I
just
I, I prove.
I
I
had to put in
prove.
the back of
I
my
bet."
mind. Yeah, I bet.
That should have been that should have been a celebration. That ended up a chip on his shoulder. That goes to show you the kind of player he is, the kind of young man he is. That's why SMU, Tennessee, Oregon, OU, Bama, Georgia, Miami, Florida State. That's why the offers are there. It's not just because of the sideline speed, because of the explosiveness, because of the elite athleticism. It's because the work you put in, bro, and holding yourself accountable. Anybody else would have looked at that and said, "Yes, I've made it." You looked at that and said, "They trying me.
Yeah,
they
trying
really
to
trying me, putting me down at
do.
78." That's why you're gonna be elite. People have heard me say it, bro. You cannot build championship programs without championship individuals. It don't work like that.
Sure,
You
absolutely.
need players like Kaden Henderson if you want to build a championship program. That's why the offer sheet is what it is. It's not just because you can hit. It's not just because you have the elite ball skills at linebacker. It's because what you have in here and in here. It's because grandma ain't raised no fool. That's why.
Sure.
That's why the offers are what they are. Bro,
Mhm.
I cannot wait to see next year because this year was insane. I mean, 92 tackles. Next year is going to be incredible. After next year, when you break all your records you set for this year, we're gonna have you back on so we can sit back, watch that film, relish in the ring. We're gonna sit back and relish in the ring and in the 5th star. But until then, let them know where they can follow you at on Instagram and Twitter because they're gonna ask me. So let them know so that they can keep up with you and make sure they're locked in with you for this upcoming season.
All right. So my Instagram is self-made Kaden, self-made, and then a KADENN with 2 N's. All right. And then my Twitter is Kaden Henderson _. So that's really it.
So I'm gonna link all that down there in the description, and it's Huddle. The reason I'm gonna link is Huddle, so you can go watch it on your own. And a lot of times they'll break them down game by game. So you're going to see, oh, Kaden played this dude. Kaden played this linebacker or this running back. He played this offense. So I'm going to link that down there so y'all can go watch it. Listen, if I did not mention your school's name today, it's only because I would have kept him here for 2 hours if we would have went down the whole offer sheet. We would have been here forever. But trust me, if you weren't mentioned, he either has the interest or 100% has the offer. So make sure you are going and following Kaden. This is not a recruit that you're going to want to miss out on. Y'all are all going to light up my DMs mid-season next year when y'all see him hit stick somebody and ask me for his Twitter. So just go ahead and follow him now so we don't have to do this. I posted his eval and then he got a Miami offer and people are like, hey, who's this? I'm like, the dude you just asked me about. It's the same guy. So make sure y'all go follow him so that you can keep up with him, bro. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Bro, thank you. I know your time is limited, so thank you so much for taking the time out. I wish you and the squad nothing but good health and success next year, bro. I hope y'all go get that ring.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. In me for life. I don't care what helmet you put on when you go to college.
Appreciate that.
A fan in me for life.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'll see you.
Y'all like, share, and subscribe. Go follow Kaden right now.
Got to.
We out.